Tesla all the way now. My car is in service right now, getting a small warranty upgrade. So he gave me a loaner. Let's see what this loaner is about. It's a Model X. Yeah. Yeah, so Model X, it's raining outside right now, so we're gonna do this little video inside. So the front end, I think this is a 2015 or prior. Maybe y'all can find out when I get inside. But starting on the outside, it's got the base wheels on there. It does have autopilot 2.5, so you see here, got a camera here, got a camera here, got another camera here. Of course, you got the rear camera, if I can get to it. Yeah, rear camera on the back tailgate. And of course, on the other side, same thing, camera on the door here, camera on the side here. And yeah, that gives it the autopilot 2.5 is what this one has. Man, I didn't realize how much I would miss autopilot, but I wish I did get it on my car. Mine is a 2013, so it did not come with the autopilot. And I do kind of regret it now. I'll show y'all a little bit of what it looks like inside later on. Here's the key. A little slight raise on it. Look like a little, so you can see the SUV. The other keys are a little more flat, but they look pretty identical. Double tap here. Pop the hood. Another thing I like about this that my car does not have, you can just open the front. On my car, there's two latches right here, so you have to like disengage it after you pop it, and it's a little tedious. And yeah, leaves fingerprints and stuff too. Get a little light in here. Here we go. It's the front. Nice space in the front. Honestly though, this front trunk or front, I feel like is about the same amount of space, if not less, than my Model S. More to follow on that. So my Model S actually has a cutout here, and then it goes back even deeper on top of the front area right here. So that extra amount of room going back makes a huge difference for me. Of course, the Model X is an SUV, so you got more cargo space in the rear. But yeah, that's the front. And I'm gonna open the trunk later. Another thing I want to show y'all, you see I'm kind of close right here, like it's real tight, probably less than the body length space. And I like these doors. A lot of people complain about them, but these are some smart doors. I'm gonna turn that music down. Bumping. Yeah, as you can see, like these doors are really intelligent, I can say. I had to turn that music down, but yeah, these doors are really smart. Like, it stopped right here. Now, I don't think anybody can get in here. Like, I'm gonna try, so I can start doing the inside. Let me see if I can squeeze in here. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was able to get in, like, that little space right there. I'm a slim man, but yeah. And once you get in, you got the Close by here. Shut it down. Now that feels like some next level royalty right there. I like that. So I'm in the back seat right now. I don't think the seats are adjusted fully. My seat is pretty far back. This is how I drove it. These rear seats, it's a bench, so it's not the captain's chairs. There's some come with the captain's chairs. This one is a bench seat. And I do not see any levers under here to adjust it forward and backwards. You see on the side here. Let's see what we got. Nope, so you can just let the back part down. No forward and backward adjustment. But yeah, I mean, I fit. I don't feel too cramped. I'm about 6'2". So yeah. Car seats might be a little bit more comfortable back here than it is in my Model S too. Because of the fact that the back part can recline. So it gives the car seats a little bit more space. Yeah. Guess I'll show you guys a trunk from right here. Not sure the exact dimensions, but you can see third row was folded down. Don't need it. And then there's the trunk right here. Good amount of space. I came from a Dodge Durango, so this is about how much space I had in the Durango with the seats folded down. It seems like Durango had a little bit more, but I could just be over exaggerating. Okay. Another thing pretty cool. Got your skylights here on each side of the back. The center is closed in with the Alcantara, but on both sides of the doors you got your skylights. That's pretty neat. As well as in the front, this is an entire piece of glass. Like, the windshield is gigantic. That is the entire windshield. From there all the way up to here is just one solid piece of glass. That bar that you see going across is just to put the sun visors on. So that's insane. I guess it's like their little mini sunroof, if you want to call it that. But pretty cool. While I'm back here, see the aesthetics of the interior. I want to say this looks exactly identical to my Model S cockpit. And my Model S is a 2013, so I guess that's like a first generation Model S. Even the center console, and this is why I'm thinking this is like a first generation Model X, just because of how it looks in here. Same controls on the steering wheel. We can do voice control. You can do menu to change like what different things you see. Scroll up and down. On the other side, same thing. Volume control, and then changing left and right. And instrument cluster looks the same too. I do like the Model X and Model S actually have this instrument panel right here. The newer Model Y and Model 3s just have a, instead of vertical screen, have a horizontal screen here, and that is it. No heads-up display or no display in front of the driver directly. Everything is right in the center of the vehicle here. I'm not a big fan of that. I prefer to have things in front of the steering wheel where I can see. Almost forgot. This is another thing I love about the newer center consoles. They actually come with 2 USB charging ports for the back passengers. My vehicle does not have that. I might swap it out later on. Like this center console, I've seen someone swap it out on YouTube. The entire thing from the back. Oh, there's a couple holes. From the back all the way up to the front there. That whole centerpiece. They swapped this whole piece out so they can get the upgraded USB ports on here, as well as the storage container up there. So yeah, let me hop out, and then I'll show you guys the front. All right, so hopping into the front seat. I love these doors. So compared to the older models or Model S, where it's like slides out, you just kind of boop, boop, it like pops open, and then you can hop on in. top. Now, the main thing that I can appreciate being in this X compared to the S is leg room. Like in my Model S, it's a bigger car. However, my knee brushes up against here. So there's a lot more leg room, of course, in the Model X compared to the Model S. Though the Model S is the biggest sedan that Tesla offers. I can appreciate the folding mirrors my car did not come with, especially when you in a tight garage or a tight space in a parking garage or a parking lot. That right there is clutch, and if you set it to automatically do it as well, pretty cool. On the interface here, and this is why I believe this is a late model, you can see, I'm gonna pull up some settings here on additional vehicle information. So right here, the NVIDIA Tegra, this is how you know if you have the MCU 1 or the MCU 2. So the MCU is the, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the mobile control unit, mission control unit, I don't know. But it's the main computer of the vehicle. This entire piece here, as well as this screen over here, is what consists of or makes up the MCU. Yeah, so this one is standard, of course, with that MCU 1 infotainment center. I considered moving mine up to the MCU 2, but another thing you can know if your Tesla has MCU 1 or 2 is right here. So radio, MCU 2.
Learn more at usfcu.com/mortgage.
You can have a radio tuner, but typically it's an additional charge. So based on Tesla's site, if you decide to get an MCU 2, you will lose FM radio, AM radio, as well as XM satellite. The good thing is that you can maintain your satellite streaming app. So any streaming apps you have, you can maintain that. Now, if this one was upgraded to MCU 2, they could have opted to put the radio tuner back in, which is an additional charge, which is what I might do. Though I don't listen to the radio all the time, it's good to have for like local news, local radio stations and stuff like that. You can do the front fog lights or the rear fog lights, fold the mirrors, open the doors on either side, and you can adjust them to a stop level too. The front trunk, the rear trunk. Here's the driver's side door, passenger side door. Open it up, close it. That is cool. Let me show you it again. You can open the door and close it. Hands free. That's nice. On both sides too. Here's the suspension. This is something standard as well. Of course, you have different heights. I think my low or very low height is about, I'm guessing, but around 5 inches. And the highest that it can go is about 6. So, which is about the standard height, or actually the low height for this Model X, which is SUV, compared to mine being a sport sedan, if you want to call it that. Yeah, so right now it's set to low, which you can adjust it. Love the suspension. Now, mind you, this may be expensive to fix when the air suspension goes out, if it goes out. I think it's really cool, especially for people who have kids, or when you're in situations where you just need a little more ride height, going over a curb or going over a speed bump or something like that, you want to scrape up anything. It's convenient to have. You can adjust it on the fly without having to worry about the underbody of the vehicle. Lights, you can control interior or exterior, the fog lights, you get the dome lights, do an automatic, turn them on, which is all LEDs. I love that. So you got your dome lights here. You can do automatic. Of course, they got the ambient lighting, automatic high beams, nice headlights going off when you have exits. Drive modes. So you got chill and standard. acceleration, which I don't think my car has. But the difference is, um, standard, of course, you're going to feel a little oomph, when you put your foot on the pedal, because these things can go 0 to 60 in most of them less than 5 seconds. So like, say somebody like my wife, she's afraid to drive my car already just because of how quick it accelerated one time when we get on the highway. So you drop it in chill mode, the acceleration is a lot more relaxed, almost like an internal combustion engine. Like, you can kind of hit the gas and you can feel it accelerating versus like that quick instant acceleration that you would get. The steering modes, I prefer comfort. Comfort is a lot more like smooth, like it just feels lightweight, real chill. I'm a laid back guy, so I like to, just feel real smooth and chill when I'm controlling. The standard is a little bit more stiff. You're gonna get a little more stiffness in the wheel when you're turning it. It's steering. And then sport mode is like it's pretty tight. Like you don't have to drive with two hands, but you might feel like you have to, just because the steering wheel is really stiff. And that's meant for, sport mode is meant for like, you just wanting to feel that tight, stiff steering. Like when you're on the highway going at high speeds, something like that, you don't want to feel like loose, where if you feel like you have to turn the wheel really hard to maneuver left or right. So sport mode is a lot more stiff. The regen braking, this is something that I had to learn as soon as I got in my car. You got two modes on here, standard and low. To standard regenerative braking, which is like when you take your foot off of the gas pedal on this car, it automatically starts to slow down, which is what the regenerative braking is. In standard mode, it slows down. Like I jerked a couple of times as soon as I took my foot off the gas, and I didn't like that. I really felt like I was like slamming on the brakes. So I keep it in low because it's a lot more moderate. Like, you feel like you're slowing down, but it's not like an instant like slam on the brake. It's just like, like you're coasting along and you come into a stop sign and you start slowing down. It automatically does that with the low regenerative braking versus the standard. I keep creep mode on, which is like it just slowly moves when the brake pedal is released. So like, this is good for traffic to me. When you sit in traffic, like, or come into a stop, let the regen brake and slow you down, and then you can just let it kind of like creep along at about 3 to 5 miles per hour. And then you want to give it some gas. When people start speeding up, you give it some gas, but you're not constantly foot on the brake, foot on the gas, foot on the brake, foot on the gas. That helps a lot. Slip start, I don't have this on my vehicle, but as you can see, it says you can use to help free up the vehicle if stuck in like snow or sand or mud, which in most situations you wouldn't deal with. But this model is a D model, which is, the D stands for all-wheel drive. So my car is just rear-wheel drive, so maybe that's why I don't have the slip start. Range mode and trailer mode, so I'm just gonna let you guys see the details on that. Range mode, it does limit like the AC and stuff like that. So if you turn it on, like the climate control, like you'll see like the air is still blowing, but it won't be like blasting. So I keep it on mine because I was just playing around with it, but it's off on this car to see how it rides without it. And then trailer mode, this car came equipped with the tow package, so you can do trailer mode before towing a trailer to restrict certain functions like the rear suspension height adjustments and stuff like that. Maybe even some of the sensors in the back of the vehicle while you're towing a trailer. So that's pretty neat. Let's see, autopilot. This is what I really wish I had. Now this one has auto steers beta, navigation autopilot beta, summon on beta. Not sure why. I'm thinking maybe because this was an older model car and they released this stuff to it to beta test it first before releasing it fully. But that is one thing I wish I did have, summon, which is really cool. You can pretty much like summon the vehicle to you, like say, hey, come here, like back out of the garage for me, and I don't have to be in the car to do it. Like, especially being in a tight position like I'm in right now, I can just hit summon and yeah, like the car will just back out to me. I wish I would probably show an example of it. If I have time, I will, but that is pretty neat. I wish I had that on mine. Auto steer, I'm not too much a fan of. I played around with it on the way home today, and I didn't too much like it. It kind of like self-corrects a little bit, like most cars these days that have the self-driving or some type of assisted driving on there. But yeah, I prefer to have my both hands on the wheel or have control of the steering wheel at least. I do like speed limit. So if you hit the gear stick here, I'm sorry, not the gear stick, but the cruise control switch here, go up or down. See if I can see that. Yeah, up or down, speed up or down. It automatically increase it or decrease it by 5 miles an hour. Pretty cool. I like that because most of the time you're on the highway cruising along and say you need to pass somebody. You tap that one time up and it automatically jumps up 5 miles per hour. Then you tap it one time down, jumps back down 5 miles per hour. So you can literally go from 70 to 80 by 2 and 2 taps, and then go back down to 70 in 2 more taps. Most cars you have to like tap 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 and like decrease the speed by 1 mile per hour to get down to where you're trying to go. My vehicle actually does that too, but I don't see the ability to change the offset by 5 or whatever. Another thing I wish I did have was the forward collision warning. That is a safety feature I enjoy. My wife has it on her Highlander. And the lane departure avoidance, somewhat good. In some instances, depending on if you're paying attention or not. I try to pay attention as much as possible. But you also have the blind spot collision warning, emergency lane departure avoidance, automatic emergency braking, and obstacle aware acceleration. The door height, you can keep it on automatic or low. That's pretty neat. For the rear doors, they call it Falcon doors. Unlock on park, it automatically unlocks with the car with the key in your pocket, almost like a what do they call that, passive entry. Notifications if you leave the car open, child protection lock for the back doors. This is good like if you just drive by yourself, you don't want anybody trying to hop in the car behind you. You turn that on where if you walk up to the car, it only opens up your driver's door like that. Auto tilt the mirror while you're backing it up. Auto fold the mirror when you park. Automatic wipers. This is neat. My car actually has this on the windshield wiper stock here. You can kind of see, got a little light. You can see like those little dots there indicate the intermittent wipers. If you turn this on though, the wipers automatically detect, let's read it. The wipers automatically detect how much rain is accumulated on the windshield, and it'll wipe as needed. I mean, that's pretty neat. It's like an intermittent wiper, but I mean, it adjusts it automatically. So, pretty neat feature. Display automatic based on the time. They switch from day to night mode. So, if you like it on a brighter setting, you can use the day mode. I keep mine on the night mode because I just like a darker setting. It looks pretty cool, and you can save it that way, or just keep it on automatic and adjust based on the time of day. Let's see, you can do the automatic brightness, energy saving mode. I just found out what this means. So this is for a lot of third-party apps like Tessie or Teslabs can connect to your Tesla via your Tesla account, and sometimes they can like drain the car because the car is like in awake mode or something like that. It's not sleep mode. So yeah, if you had an energy save mode on, you can turn it on and it'll keep your car in energy saving mode during the nighttime. Screen cleaning mode, you turn it on and clean the screen. There's a bunch of fingerprints on here right now. If I was to wipe it down, you wipe it down. You see it doesn't mess with anything. You have to hold down to exit. Oops, hold this down to exit out. 3, 2, 1. Done. You can choose your language and the voice recognition language because it has a little voice recognition button here. Set fan speed to auto. There we go. Anywho, rabbit hole. You can change the time format. 12 hours here, to 9:30 p.m. versus 24-hour military time, 21:31. This is something I learned. Energy display. So right now they have it set to mileage. There are two things you want to notice here. So you have the rated mileage versus the ideal. So the ideal mileage is is what you would typically get, not based on real life driving. So if you have it set to ideal, you're like, oh man, I have 290 miles left of range. But based on how you drive, you change it to rated time or rated, you only have 232. So not a significant difference. But I think it might be wise to just keep it on the rated, because that's like more realistic. I keep mine on percentage. So if you do a percentage, it goes by the battery percentage versus how many miles of range. So typically most people charge their batteries based on their daily driving, and I'll show you guys that real quick. You can set a limit to charge it. So this one is set to 90% charge limit. So I think Tesla recommends 90%, but it really depends on how much range you need for your daily driving. I just set mine to 90% because my Model S only has about 45 miles of range on a full charge. So I do 90% now, so I can get a little over 200 miles of range. Versus 80%, I was getting roughly 160 something miles. So yeah, there's something else you can look out for on the I guess you can call this the center control screen here. You can change what's displayed. So the car status is supposed to show the tire pressure. It pops up when you start driving. If you have a GPS route showing, it automatically pops up in this corner. It looks pretty cool. Trips, it'll show you like trip computer, odometer reading, your last charge, how much you got from your last charge, how many miles you sent your last charge, energy consumption, which was on the right side, so that just switched places now. And how I'm changing this, I'm just holding down on the button and the menu pops up. Media, so what's playing right now, a little Biz Marquee. The clock, don't know if you can change the style of the clock. I think it stays like this old school type clock, or you can just leave it empty. And you can do the same on both sides. So hold down this middle button here and you can adjust what shows up on the same side. Only difference is over on the left hand side, usually the map shows up, and on the right hand side, usually your call status will show up. So if you have a call or you're in a call, it'll show up. So while I'm in this menu, this menu button here pulls up, so you can choose your fan speed here, the temperature of the cabin. You can do the brightness of the display. You can adjust it on here. Look at your recent calls. My phone's not connected, so it won't show up. Or you can look at your contacts. So all pretty cool. On my Model S, there's also the option on there to open or close the sunroof or vent the sunroof on the right side. Navigation, pretty much the same as well. The automatic navigation is turned off. That's something that you can use, like if you have your home and work in there, and your phone is connected where you can sync your calendar to the car. It will kind of automatically assume, like, hey, kind of like most iPhones do it, like, hey, are you going to work, and plan your route based on the time of day or your routine based on your calendar. If you have a calendar event set for 2:30 to go to a doctor's appointment and the address is in there, it'll try to automatically navigate you to that based on the time. So that's nice. And of course, all the different things you can settings you have in a map. This uses the Google Maps interface as well, so these settings will be the same as Google Maps. Safety and security, so it's your mobile access. You have to have this turned on in order to be able to use the mobile app. Power it off. This will power down the entire vehicle as well as the MCU. See, speed limit mode. So they have this set to speed limit at 85 miles per hour. I'm not going to turn it off because they can probably see if I turn it off. It is loner. Sentry mode. Wish I had Sentry mode. So because of all the cameras we talked about on the car earlier, they have Sentry mode, which I've seen been beneficial in a lot of situations where people decide to walk up on somebody's Tesla and bump it, kick it, scratch it, do retarded stuff, or hit and runs in the parking lot. Sentry mode will capture that data on the front camera, the two side cameras, the rear camera. And it'll upload it. I think you can plug in a micro SD card to pull that data off of the unit. But I really wish I did opt for autopilot just for Sentry mode, really, because I feel like it'll come in handy. I have a dash cam in my car though that records continuously, so I guess if you want to go a cheaper route, you can do that. But I think this is really cool, which it has a built-in dash cam as well. You do have to insert a USB device to enable the dash cam so that it can upload information directly to it, and this is probably where it'll upload things for Sentry mode as well. But the dash cam is built in because, of course, it's right there behind the mirror, and they use it for multiple things, kind of like that. It's nice. Got the park assist chimes, Joe mode. So I read this. Joe mode is for pretty much if the kids are taking a nap, you don't want to wake up Joe's kids or disturb them. Turn on Joe mode to keep all the chimes and stuff from disturbing the kids. Don't wake up Joe's kids. Got the cabin overheat protection. I have this on my car. It's just like it's sitting outside. It'll try to maintain the cabin temperature below 105 degrees. Especially when parked outside in this Florida heat, it can get really hot really fast. Next is service. So some self-explanatory stuff in here. You got tow mode again, which we saw. Wheel configuration, I guess you can adjust depending on the type of wheels you have on here for Teslas. Like for example, this came with the 20-inch silver slipstreams, but say you upgrade it to some 22s, the turbines, when it went all black with the turbines, you can upgrade that, and it is supposed to adjust the tire pressure warning levels and the visualization of the car over here to match. So that's pretty neat. Like if you was to swap out rims, or wheels, use notifications and turn those stuff on and off. It actually tells you what the most recent error messages you were received. On the car. If you go to the notifications, you do factory reset. You first buy the car, you want to reset everything to default, so you can set it up how you want it. You do that. Wiper service mode for probably taking the wipers off, putting new wipers on. You can turn that on. And then of course roadside. That's good to have. It's right there on speed dial. I did look it up, and this is a 2017 car, so I'm sure it probably stopped getting all the new updates like the Model 3s and the Model Ys. But you can choose, the advanced or the standard software update, which I believe is just like, if you wanted to receive newer updates like beta tests and stuff, you can do the advanced versus just the standard if you want just the basics, nothing fancy. Here's the car information again. Miles, Model X 100D. Something I want to point out while I'm right here. So that D is for all-wheel drive. The 100, that's the battery watt size. So I have an 85 kilowatt battery. This is a 100 kilowatt battery. Gets a longer range, longer distance driving. It's a bigger battery. If you have the P in front of that and underlined by red, the P is for performance. So most of the time when you see this on the back of the car, of course you got the Model X, Model S, Model Y. I don't know if the Model Ys, Model S's, Model 3s have that. And then you'll have on the S's and the X's, you have P for performance if it's a performance, 85 or 100, and D if it's all-wheel drive. If it's not all-wheel drive, then it'll just have P85 or P100, P90, etc. So yeah, pretty neat. Just wanted to point that out for a lot of people that may be looking at some Model S's or Model X's and not sure like what the number stands for and what the letter afterwards stands for or before it. So if you want the performance ones that got the performance wheels and tires, brakes. Otherwise, you want just the base, long range or base model. Just look for the battery size and whether or not it's all-wheel drive. Here's your climate controls, so you can open it up here. Oh, got the dog mode. Dog mode if you're leaving a dog in the car. You got camp mode if you're just gonna be camping out. That's pretty cool. You can schedule it to turn on and off at a certain time. Same thing with the dog mode, where you can just keep it on, keep the climate on just to keep the car cool if you're gonna be stepping out for a little bit. Don't want to come back to a hot car. That's kind of cool. Turn it on and off, automatically adjust it or manually adjust it. I don't see anywhere in here for the rear controls, so I guess the climate is just all in one unit. There are no vents back here except for in the door sills here and on both sides and right here. The only vents we have in the back, but I'm sure it gets pretty good coverage though either way. Yeah, I guess I'll show you the aesthetics on the inside. I do like this. It feels like real wood. Mine has like a carbon fiber texture going across here and here and in the center. I like this wood feel. Now right here is not as realistic feeling, but this, I don't know if you can see the grain in it. This feels and looks like real wood. Don't know if it actually is, but that is nice. Not a big fan of the tan interior. Mine is a tan interior as well, but it's hard to find the black interiors. People buy them up. Love the Alcantara sealant. It feels really nice, soft to the touch, like a suede material almost. Seats match, of course, tan khaki color seats. Got your storage box here, big stuff, and then mine doesn't stay open. I don't know why. Another storage thing here underneath there. Got your 2 USB ports here, as well as a 12-volt cigarette lighter, and then 2 cup holders here. You saw the armrest for it. Got the 2 cup holders back here. Ooh, with the 2 USBs back there as well. Got a cup holder on either side of the doors, pretty big, like a bottle holder really. And yeah, I think that's about it. Last thing I wanted to show y'all was this awesome feature. We said we can open the doors from here, but in order to close it, all you gotta do is put your foot on the brake. That's lovely, man. I appreciate you guys joining, watching.